Okay, so I want to just kind of let Coach know what our skeleton of the show is, just so he has an idea. So we're kind of just going to start it out. Eric will intro everything. He's going to talk about you a little bit and your bio. And then for the bulk of the show, about 45 minutes, they have questions for you already prepared surrounding just like your life in the sports world, high school football, NFL, and the MLB. So they'll ask all of those. And then at the end, for about 10 minutes, we're going to do each of our sports
And welcome, everybody, to the Sports Lab Podcast. We are live here in Phoenix, Arizona, and we are back again. We got lots to talk about. Let's get to it.
Right to it.
All right, everybody. My name is Ebass, Coach Cook, KG. We have a special guest.
In the building with us.
In the
this
building.
afternoon.
Yes, sir, we do. And let's talk about Coach K for a little bit. So this is Coach K. Today we have a very special guest in the lab. He's joining us as a man who lived and breathed sports for decades. He's the director of sports performance at DST Phoenix Christian and an accomplished co-author, having contributed to the NSCA's Guide to High School Strength and Conditioning. He has a truly impressive resume, starting with his playing days at Quincy University, where two of the teams he played on are in the school's Hall of Fame. In 1995, he played in a Division II All-Star game in Fargo, North Dakota. The next year, he married his wife, Mandy, while coaching high school football, teaching science, and serving as strength and conditioning coach. His coaching career continued its upward trajectory, landing him at Southern Illinois University in 2000 as the strength and conditioning coach for the Salukis. In a testament to his talent, he was the only coach retained after a staff change where he was asked to coach tight ends and continue his strength and conditioning duties, even coaching future NFL linebacker Bart Scott. In 2002, Ray and Mandy moved to Arizona, where he coached at Scottsdale Community College and Phoenix College under legendary Arizona football coach Jim Rattay, who is second all-time in wins in the state history. His coaching journey continued with stops at Tonopah, Shadow Ridge, Agua Fria, and Canyon View High School, where he coached football, golf, and track and field. In 2019, Ray transitioned from coaching and teaching to his current role as the director of sports performance with DST Arizona Phoenix Christian, where he's been for the past 6 years. And get this, a devoted Philadelphia Eagles fan. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
He grew up in Florida and married a Kansas City Chiefs fan. He's been married for 29 years and even claims to beat golf legend Phil Mickelson in a match in 2022.
We're going to have some video
Big
proof
claim.
about that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Great claim. Ladies
and gentlemen, true veteran of the game. Please welcome Ray Karvis.
Thank you. Thank you so
Coach.
much for having me. I appreciate it. Coach,
What's going on,
appreciate
Ray?
it. Ebass,
Yes.
appreciate it. The only correction I want to make there is while I was at Scottsdale Community College coaching, Coach Ken Giovando, who also is a legend, was the head coach there. And then the Phoenix College is actually Phoenix Christian under Jim Rattay, who's a legend here in the state of Arizona. I believe he's number 2 all-time in the state wins for high school football.
Coach Rattay, that's the guy with the, I believe, if I remember, has an eye patch.
That is correct. And
Yes.
his son,
Ah.
Tim, played
Nice.
for the 49ers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, Tim
Years after he
Rattay.
went
Tim
to La
Rattay.
Tech. Yep.
Yeah.
And Tim Rattay is actually a product of Scottsdale Community College before he went to La Tech. So, again, like we were talking before the show, the fact that our Maricopa County community colleges do not have JUCO football anymore is really unfortunate because it's a great pathway for our kids here in the state of Arizona because our only options are U of A, ASU, NAU, and now we do have Ottawa and ACU, which are NAI schools, but we don't have anything else in between. And that JUCO avenue was such a huge, big factor for a lot of these kids to get out of the state of Arizona and play football.
What would it take to bring that back? What would people would have to do? What would organizations have to be able to come up with? How hard would that process be to start again?
You know, it is being started. One of your next guests might be a good friend of mine. His name's Doug Madosky, and he runs the JUCO League now that is in Arizona. And there's another one that started on the west side, and I don't know if they play each other or not, but they have about 8 teams, and all the students go to Dixie State, which is a Division II school now, and that's where they get their credits from. It's all online. And they have to find campuses, weight rooms, and football fields to play the games and practices, et cetera, so forth. But he would be the one, in my opinion, to talk more about how we could get it back to the Maricopa County because you'd probably have to go to the top of the Maricopa County JUCO system for those presidents to get together and say, hey, how do we bring – because the fields are still there. I mean,
Right.
go to Phoenix College. You know, they can sit 5,000. Scottsdale Community
Yeah.
College can sit
Glendale.
Still have
Glendale,
players.
Community
Rialto.
College.
We still have tons of players that would go there and play
Yeah.
football. So I don't think it's out of the question to try to bring it back, but I think he would need to be instrumental in that. He was the head coach of Scottsdale Community College for over 10 years. He played at Utah State and was an All-American and played in the Canadian League. Also a true, would you call me, a decade guy in the sports. He's legit.
Okay.
So if he were to do this and need coaches, would you, Coach Karvis, be a head coach of a JUCO?
It's interesting. He's actually asked me that twice, and I've declined. I did coach with him when he was the head coach at Mountain Ridge High School, which was recent, 2018 through 2023, and I coached with him 2019 through 2021, and I was his special teams coordinator and his strength conditioning director. But I don't know that being a head JUCO coach is my purpose and my calling. Me being in the weight room, I think, is where I really have the most passion, because I treat it like a classroom environment, even though it's a weight room. And I was a teacher for 23 years, so I kind of run it very similar to that. And his good buddy, who's also a friend of mine, played quarterback at Scottsdale Community College, ironically, back when I coached the wide receivers there. His name's Tommy Ziegler, and you want to talk about a quarterback guru? Like, I know the big three out here are what? Rudy Carpenter, you got Minucci, and Mike Giovando, right? And that's Ken Giovando's son. He does he actually trains and works with Spencer Rattler in the offseason. But Tommy Ziegler would probably be the next guy right in there that you go see him, and you're going to learn as much about quarterback play and get better as possible if you're a young high school or junior high athlete aspiring to be a quarterback.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So you're DST. Tell everybody what exactly you do at DST, and what is DST? What does it stand for? What does it mean? Dynamic
Sports Training. DST stands for Dynamic Sports Training. It's a company that is about 17 years in the making.
This is your company, right?
It is not. I work for the company. Lee Fiocchi is the owner of DST, and we have 3 locations in Houston, and he works out of the Houston Christian location. They partner with Houston Christian High School. They also do some work with Houston Christian University. And he started it in a park and basically threw down some cones and some stuff and started training some pro athletes, because he played at Eastern Illinois University with Tony Romo. And we missed each other by a little bit. When I was coaching at Southern Illinois, we didn't play Eastern those 2 years.
Okay.
Had we played Eastern, I would have coached against him, because I'm a little bit older than Lee and Tony Romo. I'm sure they would have lit us up for 400 and found a way to lost the game. That's just how the Cowboys did it all the time with him, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you coach. Well, let me go back a little bit. So 17 years in the making.
Yep.
So that's today. Do you think these high school kids, can go further in their high school career to college to pros without having a trainer like yourself?
I think so. I think what we do is special. I think what we do is elite. And the fact that we partner with 2 high schools, one in Houston, one here in Arizona. We also partner with Arizona Christian University. We train all their athletes. I was there on that campus for 4 years before opening the Phoenix Christian location. But to answer your question, one of the visions and missions we have at DST is to challenge the genetic potential of the athlete. So we want to meet them where they're at, and then we want to try to take them as far as we can take them. We were talking before the show, you got a 5'6", 190-pound kid playing linebacker. He might go as far as high school. Less than 1% of all high school athletes go on to play college. So can kids still go play college without having a trainer like myself? They can. So I don't want to sit here and say that what I do changes that atmosphere.
Do you think they'd be behind?
They could if they didn't have any type of strength conditioning program. So one of the missions I work for I'm working with the NSCA, that's the National Strength Conditioning Association, to try to get certified strength coaches in all the high schools we can. And I'm not trying to belittle PE teachers when I say what I'm about to say, but when you take a PE teacher, and I've taken the PE test for the Department of Education here in Arizona, there's 5 questions on there for the weight room.
What's your
That's it.
How much does a bar weigh?
Short and sweet.
And when you get PE certified in Arizona, it's K-12. So there's a lot of early childhood development. There's a lot of gameplay. There's a lot of rhythm and dance stuff. There's all kinds of different variations, and it's not specific to strength conditioning. And so when you take a person that has a PE cert that does not have an exercise science degree or background, Can they become a good strength coach? Sure. I know several in the West Valley. One of the best coaches I know, we talk strength conditioning all the time, is Lamar Early. He's the head coach at Millennium. He runs and has run their strength program for years. Very knowledgeable, very good. But he played college football, so he has an advantage there of having that background.
Right, some knowledge of it.
But a lot of times when you throw sport coaches and PE teachers in the weight room, they throw a workout on the whiteboard. There's no periodization. There's no progression. There's no real – and the other thing that I really want to stress is there's no data. How are you tracking these kids? Like, we have these cards. I got the lasers. I'm timing these kids once a week on their acceleration and their start and their flying 10. That's the big thing now. Everybody wants to know how fast can you run in miles per hour for 10 yards. We do all that. We measure verticals every Monday. We measure broad jumps every Monday. So we're measuring, right? What gets measured gets improved.
Right.
So are we more advanced than that, and will it help some of those kids get to that goal that you're getting to? Yes. But can a kid still go Division I? Yeah. I mean, look, genetics are genetics, man. And if you're that good, you're that good.
So it goes right into my question. How do you motivate athletes to push themselves to stay engaged in the training process, especially during challenging times? Kids going through stuff at home, no pops, nothing to eat, maybe doesn't have the what it takes inside the what's the word I'm looking for?
The grit,
there you
the
go,
grind.
the grit. How do you teach the grit?
You got to help kids overcome adversity, and one of the best ways to do that, and I think all coaches and teachers should, their number one priority should always be not about the content they teach, but about the relationships they build.
Is that coach still available nowadays?
I think I know lots of them. I know a lot of my friends that I've coached with over the years, they do that. And there's lots of teachers out there that still do it. But it's just like in any profession, the bad apple ends up being the one that all the teachers and coaches get labeled as, right? I have kids that I coached 20 years ago that I play golf with now and watch their kids growing up. I have kids that I may not have taught directly at the school, but were at Phoenix Christian when I was there the first time. They're now teachers on that campus. And walking around and seeing that, it's like eye-opening. Like, first of all, I'm old, but second of all, I'm like, wow, this is very cool, very impactful. But to get the kids through the grind, the great thing is we offer the strength training sessions as classes. So they have to come. Like it's like algebra. You got to show up.
Right.
So I always tell them, hey, you're here. Let's get some work done. There's a sign on the door on their way out, and it says the only bad workout is the one you didn't do.
One you didn't show up for.
Right? So as long as they dress out and they go in there and try to get something done, then they're better, 1% better than they were yesterday, right?
Right.
So is this DST class, you said, is part of the curriculum?
It is.
Is it like an elective that they choose to take?
That's correct. It's
Okay.
an elective. And the first year I was there, we probably had 80 of the middle schoolers and high schoolers so the high school has 250 kids and the middle school has 150 kids. So we probably had 80 of them, and most of them were your football guys, which is very common. Football is driven by the weight room.
Right.
But the baseball coach and I have been 20-year friends, so as soon as I came back on campus, he told every one of his baseball guys, hey, get in there, because we train a lot of Major League Baseball players as our pro clients, so he's like, hey, get in there so you can do some arm care and keep you healthy and all those good things. We have over 130 kids now in 3 years signed up for the class. And we have a weights class every hour now, whereas when I first was there, we only had it 4 periods a day.
Okay.
So we're moving in the right direction. But back to your question of the food, the parents, that's how you build relationships. You know, when they come in that weight room, you don't know what happened the night before. And that's any teacher. That's any class, right? And so by smiling, even though as gorilla-ish and gruff as I look, and I can coach loudly at sometimes, I can look, you know, some of these middle school kids, I'm like,
You're a little nervous. Look at it.
did he just pee a little bit when I said something? I'm a little worried, right? But, you know, knowing that there's someone in there that cares about them as a person. We partner with Gatorade. It's a great program. All these high schools should do it. There's a kit out there. You can get 10 cases of muscle milk shakes and 10 cases of protein Gatorade bars for $195. I sell those to the kids for $1. If they
Nice.
went into QT, it's $3.99, right? So I sell it for $1. And the only reason I do that is then I can order the next shipment.
Right.
It just covers the cost.
Right.
I tell them it's a supplement that should not be their lunch, but
Turns out being something.
sometimes it is
for
because
most
I can't
kids, right.
I can't control what they're eating, but
Have
at
they
least if
eaten
it's
or
something
something,
there,
right.
and if there's kids that I know come from a background that doesn't have the financial means, I have zero issues. Here's a bar, here's a shake, here's this, here's that. I can't tell you how many pairs of cleats and shoulder pads and things I've bought over the years for kids when I was coaching football, or track spikes for, now I didn't buy any kids golf clubs when I was coaching golf. That's a different deal.
That's expensive.
So were you aware of, what did we talk about? I hate to go back and ruin the show, but we talked about Teddy Bridgewater, right? Being that type of coach, giving rides, picking up people, calling Ubers for kids and home and stuff like that, just going above and beyond to take care of kids out of his own pocket. He got judged. He got criticized for that.
I'll tell you right now, what Teddy Bridgewater was doing is no different than 85% of most of the coaches that I know will do for kids. The fact that, and I don't want to bash them because they take enough criticism, but the fact that organizations like the AIA would get on a guy, and in Florida, it's the Florida High School Athletic Association, right? The FH, whatever it is. He's not buying them a Porsche, all right? He's giving them a ride home because they live in a bad neighborhood. He's purchasing a meal. I've purchased so many meals.
Right, most
at
teachers do.
Applebee's. I mean,
coaches do.
What's wrong with that, man? We're just trying to help kids. We're just trying to help kids and letting them know that life isn't horrible. Not every kid wakes up in the morning and has, an omelet.
Full cereal.
And Fruity Pebbles and whatever
hot
you want.
water.
Exactly,
They
yeah.
don't have that, man.
No.
So,
Yeah.
if we can provide and when I was younger, 25-year-old teacher, I was living paycheck to paycheck.
Right,
I didn't,
right,
but I still.
Right. Somehow,
Matter
some way.
of fact, parents, my first couple years coaching, my wife was still in college. I was student teaching, so
Shout
I
out
wasn't
to
making
that
any money.
Kansas City fan. What you say her name was?
Mandy.
Mandy.
Shout out to Mandy. Yeah, that's right. Sorry about that.
God bless her. Hey, not the sidebar, but speaking of my wife, Jared Allen gave his Hall of Fame speech just recently,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. The dude was crazy. We all know that. He was a heck of a D lineman. He said the two most important decisions you'll ever make in your life are accepting Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior,
Beautiful.
and who you marry. I'll tell you right now, no doubt in my mind, and to speak on her, like, that's the best decision I ever made. And I tell her all the time, it's probably the worst decision she ever made. She's talking to me now.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, we're just trying to give kids opportunities. We're trying to show kids people care, and once you build that relationship, then you can challenge them a little bit.
But did you do that with in mind that you were violating some rule or regulation?
Never. I just did it because I think it's the right thing to do. So shout out to Teddy Bridgewater, which, by the way, he played real well last night for the Bucks.
Did he?
He's back with
Yeah.
the Bucks.
Yeah, he's
He
back.
was like,
yeah.
It was like 12 for 14, couple tutties.
Right,
I mean,
right,
Teddy's
right.
killing it.
Yeah.
So, hey, Floridian, Teddy, shout out to you.
That's right.
There
Keep
you
doing
go.
your thing,
Right.
So does a rule need to be changed?
Yeah, but
Because this will happen again eventually, right?
It's
Obviously,
still going on.
It's still happening, yeah. So
And the thing is, who's reporting this stuff, right? Who are they just jealous because you're Teddy Bridgewater and you're an NFL quarterback and you have the financial means to do this for the kids?
I think that's the rule,
Well, I
isn't
mean,
it?
yeah,
just
if
go
there's a
by
spotlight
just
on
to go
him.
to the rule book, right? Just go to
Yeah.
the rule book. That's probably what the rule is.
Yeah, and people who write the rules, I think there needs to be exceptions to rules.
Yeah.
I don't live my life in the gray area. I think a lot of my life is black and white. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here telling you guys today, I've bought meals. I've given rides.
Yeah.
I've done this. I've done that. I mean, if Uber was a thing when I first started coaching, I would have done Ubers. But I did probably what you shouldn't do. I
Right.
just threw the
Jump
kids in
back
the
in the
car.
truck.
Let's go.
Right. Let's go. Right.
Yep.
And Nate DeSantiago played football at Phoenix Christian, and now he's an associate head wrestling coach, and he coached wrestling at ACU. I've known that kid since he was 13. I was giving him rides home when he was 13 with him and his cousin because they lived on my side of the valley out there in the west side.
Right.
Where my buddy Matt Pinnock, who shout out to Tempe High School, by the way. I think Sean Freeman and Matt Pinnock are going to do great things this year over there. But he made a comment the other day. He said, I think media and reporters are afraid to go to the west side. They don't go out there enough.
They
Not
don't.
us.
They don't.
No, I know you guys do.
We should go.
They
out
don't
there.
go out there.
No.
But they should.
They should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
Yeah. Freeman is, man, you want to talk about a leader of young men, what he's doing at Tempe High, I would definitely check
Yeah.
that out.
That's dope. Okay.
He's legit.
What's he, varsity?
Yeah, he's the varsity head football
Football
coach for
coach.
Tempe High, and then Matt Pinnock is his offensive coordinator. Matt and I, we actually played in the Copper State Football League, you know, the men's league back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
We used to call it the Fat Uncle Freddie League.
Like the
because-
37U
Yeah,
right now?
yeah.
Okay.
So I was 29 years old coaching at Scottsdale Community College, 28 maybe, and playing fullback, and he was playing linebacker, and we're out there twice a week practicing and then running around on Saturdays. I'm going to tell you what, I couldn't even walk on Sundays. It was the stupidest thing I ever did in my life after playing all those years of college ball. That was
Right,
just
right.
a bad move. But yeah, Matt Pinnock's good people.
That's awesome.
Is that first year head coach there?
So Sean Freeman is now in his third year at Tempe High, and Matt's been with him the whole time. You know, speaking of high school football, another guy you guys should check out is the new coach at O'Connor, Sandra Day. His name's Ben Cullis,
Okay.
Kullos.
All right.
They have about 4 or 5 kids that have already been D1 offered, including Tucker Smith, who's been offered by Ohio State, big-time defensive and offensive line.
Senior this year?
He's a senior this year, yeah. His father worked with my wife at the same law firm. His father played at Wyoming, and then his younger brother, who played at Wyoming, also played at Phoenix Christian. I got a chance to coach him at Phoenix Christian, Ben Smith.
Okay.
So that Ben's his uncle, so Tucker Smith's out there. So I think O'Connor could shock a few people this year.
A lot of affiliation with the West Side. What about that East Side? What about Chandler, Perry? What about those schools over that way? What kind of connections?
Hamilton.
I stay
Hamilton,
away
right.
from the East Side because the West Side always felt like the little brother, right? We always felt like we weren't getting the love. I mean, Hamilton and those schools have had a football class, not just weights, a football class where they get to practice in the mornings. They don't have to wait till 5 o'clock in the evening when it's 117. They're practicing at 9 a.m. West Side schools don't do that yet, and we've been asking for that for years.
That's an unfair advantage,
It is
isn't
an
it?
unfair advantage, 100%.
Don't you think? Like that should be raised.
Well, I'm going to
the question
report it,
raised where-
so
Well, that's not in the rule book.
better watch out.
Hey, we
Should
don't
it-
we
should
don't
it
want to
be?
come down on the new director of the AAA, who I also know by the name of Jim Dean. We don't want to come down on
Okay.
him yet.
All right, Jim D. We're not going to talk about
We
that.
ain't gonna talk about it.
Well, I think that's you're definitely heavily integrated in the sports world here, especially high school. And I think it makes a really big difference when, like you said, knowing when to be hard and when to be soft with these kids, because nobody wants to play as hard as they do for a football team when somebody's yelling and screaming in their face 24/7. I think it really sets the tone, setting that foundation, what you're doing, and it's the reason why you have those relationships years later where you see these kids, and I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
But you still can have that same type of relationship if you're a hard-nosed coach. I would
Yep.
I would respect that coach
Yep.
if you know what I'm saying. You told me how it was. You said it with your chest. You didn't. You know what I'm saying. You didn't sugarcoat nothing. You just gave it to me raw. Some kids need it like that. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I promise you, over the 24+ years that I've coached, and including being in the weight room, I guarantee I have raised my voice past the level of coaching loudly that is probably defined as yelling when I see a kid taking off 2 plates on one side of the bar but leaving the 2 plates on the other because that's a safety risk, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Right,
So I
right.
promise you I'm yelling over the music, and then the Fox 40 is the best whistle ever. It is loud, it is ear-piercing, and I blow
Yes,
that
it is.
thing, and I let them know, hey,
Right.
that ain't it.
That ain't it.
And because I tell kids, look, I'm going to tell you the truth. And the reason I tell the truth is because I don't want to have to remember what I said.
Right, and that's
No,
also
no.
like why they're gonna listen is what you just said is setting that foundation so that when you do come out and you're like, hey, listen up, they're like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
time, like it's dad, it's like a dad figure, like you care,
it is
so they
very-
respect you.
It
You
is
have to
very
build
much
that
a
up.
father figure or an uncle
Yeah.
figure, and
Yeah.
and we
Big
need
brother.
the strong male influences in our life
Right.
more now than ever in
100%.
our country. We need to do that.
Do you
know?
see? Do you see a lack of that in your environment? The strong male
Yes.
presence.
Yes, because we took a shift. I don't know how many years ago, but we took a shift to be a little softer, right? To be a little bit more nurturing, and
Right.
masculinity is great. I mean, football is the most violent thing you're going to play. I mean, it's as close as gladiatorial as you're going to get.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to compare it to war because what our troops and what our military services have done for us, that is not even close to a comparison. So when people say it's militaristic, it's not. Now, strategically, it might be if you want to start talking about chess and stuff like that.
Plays and things.
But
yes.
in terms of gladiatorial, I mean, if you weren't cut somewhere with a little bit of blood, and I played linebacker in college, what were you doing?
On the bench.
Well, you were on the
Exactly.
bench.
You were on the
okay?
bench.
So I do think we need that. We need that strength, and we need tough love. That's what I call it, tough love. It doesn't mean we don't love you. It just means we're being tough on you.
Yep.
And we're trying to make you stronger, because someday, and the purpose of coaching, no one's going to remember all the wins and losses. I mean, yeah, you might have a championship ring and all those fun things, and I got a few of those, both as a coach and a player. It's great. But you're going to be a father someday. You're going to be a husband. You're going to be a leader in your community. You're going to be a boss, okay? And the women, okay, we can be tough on the girls too, because they need to be strong, because they're going to be moms. And they're going to be wives, and they're going to be leaders, and they're going to be lawyers like my wife.
Right.
You can't be soft. I mean, ACU has a saying. Coach Williamson over there, he's the defensive coordinator, a good friend of mine. He always talks all the time. No soft, no soft. That's one of their things. No soft. So yeah, we need that. We need to impact our kids in a positive manner, but it doesn't have to be soft.
No.
It can be strong.
Okay. So the first step in that process. Give me a little taste of that. The first step of bringing that back, implementing that masculinity back, without offending anybody.
Without offending anybody, it's building the relationship so they get to know who you are. And while that may take some time,
From coach to kid.
coach to parent, even unfortunately, a lot of coaches don't like to talk with the parents, because today there's lots of parents that are living vicariously through their kids. They're not allowing the kids to have the experience that they have, because either their experience wasn't good, or maybe they weren't good themselves, and they want to see their kid play because it's all about them. That they need counseling for. I can't help that. And some of those parents, when I was a sport coach, and I'm thankful I'm not anymore, I don't have to deal with that. That's why track sometimes was a better sport to coach, and golf was a better sport to coach than football. It's individual.
Yeah.
Look,
Everybody
man,
plays.
Hey, look, man, Johnny just ran 14-2 in the 100, okay? The state champs around here are running 10. He ain't running 100.
No.
The proof is
go.
in the pudding.
Right.
Hey, Susie just shot 49 on the front 9 of the golf course, okay? She's not going to be the number one golfer. Sorry, because they're shooting 38. Those are tangible things, whereas football, I mean, yeah, we got film, but if the kid doesn't get on the field, how can you evaluate the film, right? Well, the parent doesn't come to every practice, although some of them do, which I think is crazy.
They
like,
shouldn't.
hey, man, can you just let the kid go be a kid?
Yep.
Let them
Right.
work through their challenges.
I'm
And
glad
if-
you said that, because I would like to show up at the practice. I thought it would be encouraging to see your pop out there sweating.
You should, but not all of them. Like, there's parents that come to every single practice.
Yeah.
No. You want to come out to that first Saturday morning scrimmage? Heck
Yes.
yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
should.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You come to the games? Yeah, 100%. Some schools do like on Thursdays they do their walkthroughs, or I used to call it a run through. I stole that from Oregon, right? We're not walking because we want the fast twitch muscles firing.
Activated.
So we're
Right.
doing a run through. And this is before I got really good at strength conditioning. I had that implemented. But we would then have a team meal. Hey, you want to invite the parents to the team meal? Come on. You know what I mean? That's good stuff. But to be out there every single day, sitting in those bleachers, watching Johnny, hey, man, don't you got something else you need to be
bit
doing?
much, huh?
Come on. Like,
Yeah.
like that, if you don't trust the coaches, we appreciate that you're entrusting your most precious possession, your kids, with us, but you got to trust us a little bit too, right? You can't just be sitting up there all the time making sure your kid is the one playing.
That's what I always told my kids, that I would never give them any advice on something that a coach would tell them, because they got to listen to the coach. If they come back to me and go, coach told me this, coach told me that, I'm always like, listen to your coach.
Yeah,
listen to your
being
coach
right
no matter
there
what.
Right.
Right.
Parent right there, you just looking at your dad.
You ever see him coaching from the bleachers?
Yeah,
Man,
I know.
Yeah.
That happened at Canyon
Yeah.
View my first year as freshman football. We're trying to implement the deal, and there's the kids come in the huddle, right? And I'm explaining what we're doing on timeout, and all their eyes are up in the bleachers because the dads are up there telling them
Doing
what to do. I'm
signs
like,
and everything.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Well, I think a good takeaway message for those parents is what you kind of said earlier, is like what gets measured gets improved, and that's what you're doing in the weight room and during practice. So I think that definitely makes a
Yeah,
difference.
and that leads
Absolutely.
back into what the company does. That's one of the benefits of hiring a professional company and a certified strength professional in the weight room, because if they're worth their salt, they are going to measure those things.
Right.
They're not just going to put a workout on the board, and that's fine. I do that every now and then too on a Friday. Hey, it's fun day. Let's this, that, and the other
Mix it
thing.
up, right.
Here's what we're doing, because that's the other thing you talked about. Once you build a relationship with them, now you got to make it fun. because if it's not fun, they don't want to be there. And,
Right.
and so you and that's tough too, because football, you want to be real intense, right, in the weight room, like let's get after it. Whereas your other sports, like basketball players, were allergic to the weight room forever. Like even though they watched the Last Dance and Jordan getting Pippen up in the morning and hey, we're going to work out. And by the way, some of that stuff he was doing, that's not good strength conditioning stuff. and if you've seen LeBron lately with that stupid bar and then he throws it back on or whatever, I don't even know what lift that is.
That's not good either.
That's not
his
deadlift.
form was crazy. When
That's
I saw
deadlift.
It was
That's not
weird.
a deadlift.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. But I'm a Jordan guy, so I don't want to feel like I'm just bashing LeBron because I do respect the fact that he's been in this thing for 20 plus years.
20
and,
He's got the respect.
41 still trying to do it.
and he can, and that's
Yes.
impressive.
That's
so,
crazy.
Does
but-
that mean he has a good strength trainer?
No, that means he has a lot of money to take all his supplements and his BP 157s and the 500s and all the good stuff to keep him young.
Science. Now you start to talk science.
Well, it is exercise science if you take that degree. Now, my degree was bio and chem, which was the base for the book that we have is through the NSCA. It's called The Guide to High School Strength Conditioning. I think it's a great resource for PE teachers and sport coaches who are in the weight room and are not CSCS certified yet, and they're looking to get CSCS certified.
Can a
book here?
parent get that?
That's
book
on
and-
Amazon. You can buy that on Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah,
And
it's on
what did
Amazon.
you contribute to this book?
So we contributed and collabed with lots of the different chapters, but I specifically wrote with another gentleman who's a strength coach out there who went to Baylor, the chapter 10 on speed and agility. So if you were to open chapter 10, which is somewhere around page 191 or whatever, all your basic 5-10-5 drills that they test for the pros, your L drills, your T tests, your lateral movement, sprint mechanics, which as a track coach, I used to really push the sprint mechanics. We wrote on that, and we have diagrams in there, and we have pictures in there, and we have explanations of how you teach this and how you coach this, and you can implement. There's program and design on here that if you're not sure how to create a workout program in that weight room, it gives you guidelines to help you do that if you don't have the background.
Right. What do you think is like the biggest takeaway that coaches and people, reading this, going back out there, what do you think is?
This book particularly is really geared more for those that are in the profession. There are other books that you can read if you want to do some stuff with your own kids, because what I would say is before 12, can you just let them go? I mean, bring back the monkey bars. All right, bring back the jungle gym. Bring back the rolling around on the field and just doing
Totally
tumble.
agree.
What we used to do in football, didn't we have the monkey rolls where one guy jumps over the other?
Right.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff is all activating the CNS and is all learning motor skills and mobility and functionality.
CNS stands for?
Central nervous system.
There you go.
Yeah. So you just let them go play. Like they need to play. Like we need to bring back, like NFL had something for a while. It was called 60 minutes of play.
60 minutes of play.
Yeah.
We need 60 minutes.
stopped
of
doing
play.
that, didn't
yeah,
they?
They don't
stopped.
even promote it.
Yeah.
We need to bring that back.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that our kids need. I mean, and I think we went away from it, not to veer off to education, but we got so caught up in being behind in math and science that we took out the most important thing to get the brain stimulated, which is movement and running around and sweating.
Right.
And we took that PE component out of the schools because we wanted more testing, and which is ridiculous. Like we need to stop doing that. Like, because not everybody's taking that track. Like by the time you're 14, you're going to know real quick if you're going to be able to do trigonometry and pre-calc and all that stuff.
Speaking of 14 years old, what age do you think tackle football is the first year to start?
Eric, that's a tough question for me because I asked my mom in 4th grade if I could play. She said no, and I kept asking, and she said no, and so I went 4th grade, no. 5th grade, Mom, I want to play. No, all my friends are playing. I don't care. You're not playing. Finally, in 6th grade, because I was relentless, I didn't stop. She let me play. So 6th grade, what are you? You're 11, 12, right?
11, 12.
That was the first time I ever put on a helmet. And again, that's the 80, mid to late 80s, and then high school for me was late 80s, early 90s, and then college was 90s. We used our helmet. Like that was taught to us. Like,
Were they helmets? Like?
I'm gonna tell you, I have my college helmet at my house. Don't report me.
Those
I
things.
probably was supposed to turn that in.
Was there any padding inside? Was there any padding
It's got
inside
the
of it?
bike octopus, the
Yeah,
bike,
yeah.
right? But that helmet weighs like 15 pounds. No wonder I don't have a neck. Right?
Right.
We're carrying that around. But we were allowed to use our helmets, and our coaches actually taught us to put our face on the ball. Like, they didn't tell us the crown of the helmet. They didn't teach us that even back then, not bad stuff. But kids did it, and you were allowed to. So to answer your question, I think you can learn the fundamentals of football without putting on helmet and shoulder pads. And when you do put on the helmet and shoulder pads, you have to have some of the best coaches out there teaching the fundamentals of tackling. You have to get that Seattle Seahawks. Pete Carroll did it first with the wheel and tackling with the arm and the roll. My nephew, who lives in Scottsdale, he's playing for the feeder school to Saguaro. So there's my East Valley connection.
Okay, there it is. I appreciate it.
They're the SaberCats or whatever. He played last year. He's playing again this year. He loves football. His father, who's my brother, obviously, he's a big-time chef over there in the East Valley. He works at the Talking Stick Golf Club. And he is playing in the fantasy football league. My nephew is, because he wants to play. So my dad, his dad's the manager, but he's playing. But I watch these little kids, 12 years old, because he's 12, and he's about to be 13. And I say to myself, should they be in a helmet and shoulder pad right now with all the stuff we're learning about CTE and concussions? And we've learned that the concussion is sometimes more caused from after you hit and fall backwards and get hit
Than
in the
actual
back
contact.
than the actual original contact.
Wow.
And they're learning this stuff. And the NFL, I think, is doing the proper by investigating and researching, and they're hiring some of the best doctors and neurologists to figure this stuff out, because it is a dangerous game. I mean, how in the last 4 or 5 years, how many times have we seen an athlete go down? And of course, our camera crews these days, everything's there, and they see the guy and he's twitching and the whole deal. I mean, Tua, is a prime example of that. We've had a couple guys in preseason already. And,
a lot of cases.
And because of us strength conditioning professionals, what's happening to our athletes? What are we getting? We're getting faster, we're getting stronger, we're getting bigger. So, not to go science school again, but force equals mass times acceleration. The more mass, the more acceleration, the more force you're applying in this game.
The bigger the
do you
collision.
Do you think those collisions have anything to do with all these ACL tears that's happening in sports?
Or
or
that poor conditioning.
what is that all about? Quads aren't strong enough, hamstrings aren't.
Guys are light.
So you're a physical therapist. You may be able to answer this question better than me. I mean, I can tell you that a lot of things that I do in the weight room, especially in season and during the school year, are to load up the tendons. Tendons love load. We do lots of depth drops and single leg dumbbell drop catches where I tell them to get up on their tippy toes. They got a dumbbell in their hand and they're planting. And I said, I want you to feel that vibration in your knee. I want you to simulate making a cut. So now they're holding a 25-pound dumbbell.
Boom.
And they're planting, right? They're dropping off of a bench and they're planting, or they're dropping off of a bench and then they're bounding again, right? And then the squats, we front squat, we back squat. You know, I still clean. You know, that Olympic lift is still in a football player's regiment. Now, in season, I tell them they don't have to catch.
Boom.
Because their hands, wrists, elbows, shoulders are already beat up. So we high pull. And it was funny, we started this at ACU a few years ago, and I know other schools do it. Pat Patel and a couple guys out of some Division III schools. But I saw the Eagles high pulling. And I'm like, all right, man, if the pros are doing it,
Wow.
we can do it too.
They saw you do it somewhere.
No.
They read. Was it? Is it? In your
No,
book?
it's definitely
No,
not
it's not.
because I would tell you
Down there.
the pro strength coaches. I was told a long time ago when I went and visited the Eagles facility when I was the strength coach for Southern Illinois way back in the day. I said, man, I walked in, I saw the hammers and all the jammers and all that. I said, where's all the free weights? Where's all the clankety clank, the cleans and stuff like that? And he's like, Coach, these players make millions of dollars. They come in here and hang clean and get hurt. You know who's getting fired? Me. He goes, if they want to hang clean in the offseason, they go back to their colleges and go hang clean with their coaches.
They don't do that here. No.
That's right.
Well, I think
Smart.
that's not to cut you guys off, but we do have to think about time, and I know you've got some questions. So you brought up the Eagles, and I know Eric has a couple questions about your thoughts on, like, how's that team shaping up so far? What do you think is going to happen? Anybody to look out for?
Yeah,
Elaborate.
I do.
So
you-
we didn't really care, really. We
I
wasn't going to
understand
spend
that.
too much
As a
time on
Chiefs
the
fan,
field. We weren't going to talk about
look,
all
you're
that.
still
But go
salty.
ahead.
Look,
Let's talk about Jalen Hurts real quick. So last year he had what 18 throwing touchdowns and 14 he led the team in rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
Do you think he needs to give Saquon a little bit of some of that love this year, or what do you
As
think?
long as the tush push is still going to be
That's how he gets all of his
allowed,
touchdowns, huh?
and they're on the 1 yard line. They have a very good offensive line, probably one of the best in the league. Jalen Hurts and Saquon work out together in the offseason, and both of them are 600-pound squatters. Now, Nick Chubb was too, and he still tore his ACL, back to your other question. So at the end of the day, I don't. I'll tell you this. You can write this down. As a strength professional, I cannot prevent injuries. Can't do it. But I can help reduce the risk of. If you're really good at what you're doing, you can help reduce the risk of the injury. Now,
Could you tell if how a player performs that an injury is about to occur? Can you detect it?
ooh, I don't think so.
Just by his his mechanics. Oh,
No.
he's bound to do that. He's bound to tear.
I
up.
think
Keep
if
doing
you
that.
see somebody doing squats with their knees together,
So if I see, if I see it in the weight room, I can see dysfunction.
Right, that-
if I see dysfunction in the weight room, but on the field, that's really tough.
That's tough on
Now
the
I
field,
can
yeah.
tell you what I can do, and you can probably do it too. When an athlete gets hurt on TV,
oh yeah,
I can tell you right away if
You know
it's
exactly what it
ACL
is.
or a meniscus or something else. Now, am I wrong sometimes? Of course I am. And my buddies that are in the athletic training room will be like, "Oh, you're not good at that, Ray. We're better at that." Yeah, you guys are better, but I've been pretty good at it. But anyway, back to Jalen. First of all, his composure as an athlete is unbelievable. Like
agree.
going from Alabama, having to sit, watching Tua go in, go to Oklahoma, still almost the Heisman. I mean, if you as a young athlete can admire and look up to a person like Jalen Hurts, I'm shocked. And I'm not talking about off the field, because I never like to talk about off the field stuff with pro athletes, because they're human beings and they're going to make mistakes just like we are.
Right.
But seeing him, his interviews, his demeanor, the way, and then Saquon. First of all, Giants fans,
Yeah, no.
so sorry
Kicking
for
yourself.
you, because I ain't seen that dude smile since he was at Penn State until he came to Philly last year. So we are blessed to have that.
Well,
dude.
one thing with him though, I read, and I don't have the quote on me, but he said last season was the very first season where he accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior, and he became a Christian.
That's dope.
Full circle, man. Like
dope.
what
Right.
did Jared Allen say? What and again,
Exactly.
DST, Dynamic Sports Training, is a faith-based company. We are all Christians that work in that company, and that's why we partner with Christian schools so that we can continue to have the biblical integration. And then, like at Phoenix Christian, they want a biblical worldview for their students. Students that go there do not have to be Christian.
Right.
Okay.
But by the time they leave,
They will be.
We hope they've accepted Christ. That's the plan there.
That's
That-
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and ACU is very similar. But Saquon and Jalen, what a tandem. I mean, there's probably some other. I mean, James Cook and Josh Allen, you could argue, nice tandem. Mahomes and what's his name? He looks like he's stomping on roaches when he runs. Pacheco.
Pacheco.
I like Kareem Hunt personally. I think he's a good back.
Yeah, he's good.
dope too. Yeah.
But when you have a tandem like that in the backfield, now the defense has to honor both the pass and the run. And again, going back to 14 touchdowns, yeah, he probably should give Saquon a few more touchdowns at the 1 yard line, because he's going to get in behind that good offensive line too. But as long as they have the tush push, I think you're going to continue to see that happen.
So who's going to do better for you in your playoff fantasy, Saquon or Jalen?
So unfortunately, in our fantasy draft, my wife drafted Saquon. I didn't get to draft him, and someone else
someone's got
drafted
Hurts.
Jalen. And in the draft I'm drafting right now, which is a set it and forget it league, if you've ever played in those, that's crazy.
Right.
And it's
Yeah,
a two quarterback league, so you're starting 2 quarterbacks every week. We have 4 hours to make a draft pick. This draft is going to take a week. And it's with a buddy of mine. It's actually throwing names out. It's John Stallworth's, the John Stallworth from the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's his grandson who runs the league.
Okay.
So I play in that league with him. He's what a good dude. And our better lucky than good is our league name for that one.
Okay. All right. All
But
right.
it's I didn't get Jalen there. My first draft pick was a quarterback, and it was Lamar. Because let's be honest, like
Yes,
that's
He's a good
nothing wrong
pick.
with that.
That's
still
who I
good.
picked.
That's a great pick.
Yeah.
How do you not like that dude is unreal.
The only
you know?
thing better than that is Patrick Mahomes, but we don't have to go down that road at any time.
To each their own. Hey,
You know, I'm not a hater on Kansas City, because you guys have one of the most legendary coaches ever in Andy Reid, and I love
Come
that
on,
dude.
right.
I love
the
that
best
dude.
coach.
I can't.
Great.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's up there.
can you describe a time when you had to adjust a training program to better suit an athlete's needs?
Yes.
All the time.
When I thought
Daily.
about that
It's a
question,
great.
probably you had to
It's a
do it all
great
the
question
time.
though, because a lot of people out there probably think, oh, they just make them do whatever. So we have these cards, and this is how we do our periodization, and I make the kids accountable for their cards. And it looks fancy and all that, but it's a 3-day card, you know, and they have to fill out their wellness box, all right?
Okay.
So this wellness box, they come in, and they have to tell me how many meals they had yesterday. They have to tell me how many hours of sleep they had yesterday.
Okay.
They're weighing in, and they have to tell me their training willingness, low, medium, or high. If I see the kids only had 4 hours of sleep,
Low.
only had 2 meals,
Low.
and their training willingness is an L, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to say, okay, your workout is 4 sets of this, 3 sets of this, blah, 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 these 8 exercises. I'm going to say, you're going to do 3 of those exercises.
Step.
I'm going to take sets and reps off because I'm going to decrease your volume because you don't have enough energy, aka the caloric intake or the recovery, to perform this, especially if this workout's during the day. And guess what they have after school still? Practice. So again, my KPIs, key performance indicators in the weight room for an athlete
Wait a
are
minute. KPIs.
key
Key
performance
performance indicator.
indicators. Key performance indicators.
That's dope.
Number 1, I want to get them faster because speed kills. Speed might be the most deadly thing for any sport. If you're fast, laterally or linearly, you're going to be very good.
Your speed can take you somewhere.
Yes, strength. I want to get them stronger. And yes, you can get stronger in season. I don't care what any coach tells you out there. You can get kids stronger in season as long as they're doing the workout provided and they're eating enough, you know, and they're doing the proper and getting rest. And then finally, most people want bigger. I don't care about getting bigger. If an athlete's 175 pounds and I increase them 1 mile per hour in their 10-yard fly and I increase their squat by 25 pounds and their vertical by 3 inches and they still weigh 175,
That's a win.
we've won. And the third KPI, which could be number 1, instead of bigger, health. Because the best ability of a high school athlete is availability. If they can't play for the coach and the team, then they're not doing anybody any good. So my job as a strength professional, especially from August to May, is health. So I'm going to get you fast. I'm going to get you strong. I'm going to make you. I'm going to hopefully get you to enjoy the workout and the process we do. But I'm going to keep you healthy. Again, reduce the risk of injury so that you can play. Because a lot of these kids play 3 sports, which is wonderful, and I applaud that. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
I think that, what is the KPI? I think that's the difference between 30 years ago or like when we were kids. They didn't even think about that. Oh, you didn't get enough sleep? Don't care. You're going to run just like everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
And that
Didn't eat nothing?
Right, didn't eat nothing. Sorry. You're going to run like everybody else. But to be able to take that, and the kids know, like when they
holds
know
that
that.
kid
So like,
accountable.
And holds the kid accountable.
why are you being so soft on him, but you're not being hard on him? Well, then you can say, well, he had.
My man's had 1 meal in the last 2 days.
Right.
I can't control that. Now I can help and whatever, but I'm definitely going to reduce the volume of that workout.
Of course,
because
right.
Otherwise, I'm promoting the potential injury that could occur.
And that's it, right? That's the prevention of injury is the main name of the game. Besides,
reduce the risk of.
right,
We
reduce.
can't prevent them because
Correct, yeah.
Hey, you wouldn't have a job if we could prevent.
Absolutely. I don't know. We don't want to prevent,
We
right?
want to prevent. We don't want none of that.
injuries. Well, we do, but we can't.
Hey, we have a couple of things I wanted to mention. We had a chat line going, and we've had a couple of things.
Chat line, man. What's going on, chat line?
We
Everybody
got a
out
chat
there.
line out there. Just a few people on the chat line. Your wife, actually, she's 100% chat line. Every week she's
God
doing
bless her.
something.
That's
There
awesome.
you go.
Thank you, Erica. And then we have somebody else. This is new. I don't know if you know who she is. Catherine Murphy. She says, your favorite server here watching. No?
No, yeah.
Cat?
I don't know her, but she's my favorite server now.
Cat?
You're,
Let us know who you
oh,
are.
Cat.
Cat.
Server. Over at
Yeah.
at the Applebee's.
Oh, was that the Applebee's server, or is that
How you
the
doing? Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wing?
No, that's that. No, come on, you putting all the business out there.
Oh, sorry.
The
Sorry.
Applebee's, That's the Applebee's.
That's all you ever talked about.
Yeah. No, well, I do talk about Applebee's. How you doing?
Applebee's.
Appreciate you.
Cat,
Thank you for
thank
showing
you.
up.
Yes, thank you. All right.
Awesome.
What you got over there, Cook?
Oh, well, I was just what else did I have over here? I think he answered all
She
my
just
questions.
confirmed Applebee's.
Nice.
She did. There we go.
Applebee's in the
Cat. Thank you,
building.
Cat.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I just wanted him to send a message out because my guy, he plays for Chandler Wolves.
Nice.
They
They have a highly qualified strength coach over there.
do they?
Yeah, I follow him on X. Last time I checked, he's pretty good. They got
okay.
well, and I guarantee Hamilton, Bishop, they all have them. The big schools have them. Liberty has a good dude out there. O'Connor has a guy, and the football coach is also CSCS, which is rare. So
Tell everybody what CSCS is.
CSCS is Certified Strength Conditioning Specialist. It's a test to check your knowledge. It's about a 3-hour test, about 80 questions about exercise science, biomechanics, VO2 max, stuff like the real science behind the training.
That I would have to know if I wanted to get into it.
Well, you would need that certification to interview for colleges and pro. You don't have to have that certification to be in the high schools because, as we talked earlier, the Arizona Department of Education doesn't even recognize the CSCS. You got to take the PE test, which has how many questions again?
3
Probably like five.
Five.
Yeah. So, and the second part of it is how to run a facility. And also talks about volume of workouts, and it also talks about nutrition and those type of things. Even though we're not registered dietitians, we do have a substantial knowledge of your macros and your proteins.
You
and
would
your
have
carbs.
to,
You would
right,
have
yeah.
to help. What do I, Coach? I want to lose 5 pounds and get leaner. Coach, I want to gain 15 pounds and I want to get bigger. So you have to know how to teach kids how to eat like that properly, because Cheetos and Talkies is not real food.
No.
Even
It's
if they're
not?
working out so
No.
much. Even
What
if they're
about
working out.
McDonald's? McDonald's is not. So many guys
So
love McDonald's.
it
Chad
could
O-
be. It might have been 40 years ago when we were kids. I don't know if it is anymore.
But the portion size has gotten smaller, so more healthier.
So how do you fight that? Chad Ochocinco says he lived off McDonald's. He made it to the league. A kid will tell you that. Coach, why do I need to eat right and I can survive off McDonald's?
Or
Coach
live
Cook,
on-
what did I say about 20 minutes ago about the genetics? Chad Ochocinco is a genetic freak.
Yep.
That dude could have ate grass and friggin' ended up being where he was.
Marshawn Lynch, after getting hit, is slamming
Skittles.
Skittles.
Well, here, let me tell you about Skittles. Skittles is what?
Actually,
It's sugar.
Yeah.
And
not bad
that
for you.
actually, not to go all biological, but what do our cells need on our most basic level?
Glucose.
Sugar, glucose. So that's not a bad thing.
Well, that's why chocolate milk is what the
After a
greatest
workout,
after
something
workout.
about that,
Yeah.
yeah.
chocolate
Is that
milk.
true?
It is 100%
Chocolate
true.
milk,
And that's why I
Oh,
have
yeah.
the muscle
Wow.
milk.
Fats,
muscle
protein,
milks,
and
fast protein and carbs.
Carbs, yeah.
Because the muscle milk is actually real milk.
Okay.
And then it has the protein in there. It's 25 grams of protein, whereas regular chocolate milk probably only has like 12. So I'm actually giving the kids something that has more protein in it after a workout, and it also has some carbs.
So you endorse that?
I'll endorse it based on a supplement. I will not endorse it for their lunch. They still should be eating their lunch.
Right.
Something. Okay.
Yep. Yep. We got somebody else, Hector Perez. He's on the chat line saying lots of good info. Take care of our kids.
Amen.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Yes,
Amen to
yes,
that.
Absolutely. Go for it. Did you have something else?
Going back to the ACLs, so we could do all. These professional athletes are doing everything to their bodies to be strong, right? To avoid injury. Why? Going back to the ACLs, there's been a ton of ACLs lately. Is it the strength? Because you can't strengthen a ligament,
Correct. I agree with that
right?
statement.
You can't strengthen the ligament.
I
You
think
can
you can
strengthen the
strengthen a
structure
tendon.
around it. Yes, you can.
Because remember, and here we'll go a little sciencey on the
Sure.
crew here.
do
Tendons
it.
connect what?
To the muscle.
The bone to the
Oh.
muscle. And I think some of those muscle cells infiltrate the tendon cells, and that's why
Sure.
we can strengthen that. That's
Sure,
why,
sure.
like, those Achilles tendons that ruptured, I think those are still rare. The Aaron Rodgers deal and Kirk Cousins and
Just recently,
who's the NBA guy?
Halliburton.
Yeah.
Halliburton.
Now,
Will Durant.
now
and those guys
Halliburton,
too.
not to go off tangent, if your soleus and your gastroc and your calf is bothering you, those are the muscles that connect, that the Achilles tendon connects to your heel bone.
Don't play.
Stop playing. And that's something we used to do as kids too, play through pain, right? Play through it.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if you're playing through pain, just like if I make these kids do this entire workout when they haven't had enough sleep and hadn't had enough food, I'm not saying they're going to get injured, but you're not reducing the risk of that injury.
No possibility, right?
So back to your ACLs, there probably is a correlation between the strength, the speed, and the power. I mean, the athletes are faster. I mean, Michael Johnson in the 96 Olympics ran the 400 in the fastest time ever, and and when I calculated that time, because they didn't do that back then in miles per hour, he was running about 24 miles per hour.
For 400 meters.
Crazy.
Well, not for the whole 400 meters, but
Top speed.
top speed was probably 24 miles per hour. Now, they put it on the screen collegiately and in the NFL how fast that dude ran, right? Which is very cool to see, which is why I do it for our kids, because the kids want to see this
Know
stuff.
how fast they?
Yeah, and I tell them, hey, that dude just ran 21 miles per hour in helmet and shoulder pads in a game.
Right.
You ran 17 miles per hour and you're in shorts on a track. You're slow.
You're slow.
But the ACLs, I do think there's a correlation, but I I have not done enough research, and I don't even know if I'm smart enough to put all that together to see if that there is something there, which is why in the workouts that I program for kids, young athletes, even the good ones. I mean, we got a 42-inch vertical leaper over at Phoenix Christian. He's already been offered a couple D1 scholarships. He jumps out the gym.
That's crazy.
But he don't have 400 pounds on his back.
Mm-hmm.
He's just springy, right? His ligaments and his tendon, that fast.
Cricket.
Those fast twitch muscles. I mean, Dennis Rodman might have been one of the best of all time. Bing, bing, bing,
Right,
bing.
right.
I mean, that dude, he had it, right? So I do think there's a correlation. What it exactly is, I don't know. I'd love to dive into it with some people.
I got to ask you this. I have a theory that it's not so much the imbalance between strength of the muscles and the tendons. What about what they're ingesting? What about supplements or performance enhancers that aren't illegal, but they're still able to take them? Do you think there's a correlation between what they're ingesting and the deterioration
Of certain muscle groups.
of the ligaments?
It's possible. Now
I haven't done research on that.
I haven't done research
thinking-
on it either. Now I feel like I'm on a witness stand in one of my wife's cases. Like, is it possible? Is it anything's possible?
Anything's possible.
Right?
Possible,
So I don't know. I mean, like when I was a kid, we didn't have energy drinks. We had Gatorade.
Right.
And
Right.
all of
And
it
water.
had
Kool-Aid.
and
Yeah.
all of it had
Lots of Kool-Aid.
Hey, good.
get the and make the Kool-Aid right.
Right. That's right.
Like
Make it right.
they,
Not
they
too
say
powerful.
they say one
We didn't
cup
need school. We
one
didn't
cup
need
of sugar. No, you need like 4.
We didn't need
Otherwise-
school. We had Kool-Aid, right?
If the Kool-Aid didn't pucker your lips, it wasn't Kool-Aid.
It wasn't
good.
Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. Thank you. That's good stuff. But we didn't have this, and we don't know what's in these energy drinks. You know, I mean, I was born in the 70s, so at this point in time in my life, I still squat, but I don't have a bar on my back anymore. I use various machines. I'll front squat from time to time. I'll clean. I can't lift right now because I tore my bicep tendon back in May spotting an athlete. She's fine. The strength coach is the only one supposed to be getting hurt in the weight room, so that's fine. But ultimately, could those things have an effect on our body, muscularly, ligament-wise, tendon-wise? Yeah. By the way, we didn't define the ligament. Ligament's bone to bone for those of you
Bone
out
to
there.
bone.
Yeah.
Bone to
Tendon
bone.
is ligament.
ACL,
Yeah.
cruciate ligament. Yeah.
Yeah. But could it? Yeah. I mean, I think it could. I mean,
Do you think it also could affect the cardiovascular of an athlete too? Because we've seen also these professional athletes going down or dying from heart conditions when they're supposed to be the healthiest people on earth.
well, I think I'm going to tell you right now, and this is going to be a very controversial statement. I think a lot of our athletes are ingesting way too much caffeine. And I think when you start looking at caffeine and the effects it has on the heart,
Right.
They say 200 milligrams is about the max you should have in a day. Well, 1 Celsius has 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. I drink Celsius.
And
but I only
a bunch of other shit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, they got stuff in
The
there. that
ingredients list is
we
like
don't
Crack.
even know.
Wow.
And as a chemistry teacher, while I was coaching football and track and golf and being a strength coach, if you can't pronounce the ingredients on the back of a label, why are you putting it in your body?
Why are you drinking
right? Why are you drinking it? But if they have 1 Celsius, right? And again, they always talk about under 18. So now you're talking about high school kids. You got a 15-year-old kid, and he comes rolling into class with a rock star or a monster. And there's 200 milligrams of caffeine. Do you think that's the only caffeine he's going to get or she's going to get for the rest of
probably
the
gonna
day?
have 2 or 3 of those.
Probably.
2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
And even if they're drinking diet beverages, which I encourage the kids to drink the diet 0-calorie ones, there's caffeine in there. So by the time they go to practice, some of these kids have 400 milligrams of caffeine. That's way too much, and they're not drinking enough what?
Water.
You know they're not drinking enough water.
At all.
And kids are like, oh, Coach, I've drank 4 things of my 32-ounce water. I'm still cramping. Well, that's because you don't have the electrolytes, and that's a whole nother thing that kids don't understand.
Right,
You
right.
need the salt.
I was just telling my boy that is that a dope thing to do before football practice? Maybe if you haven't drunk enough water, hit a little salt packet or something like that. How do you keep?
Yeah,
that?
I would
Liquid
throw some
IV.
salt in there, or if you get those packets of, those Powerade, Gatorade little packets you can pour in your water,
Right.
Because there's electrolytes in there.
And
Now,
salt, lots of
what's
salt
the
too.
old school way? They used to do the pickle juice, which, by the way,
That's still a thing.
It's still a thing.
I think
Well,
it's, yeah.
Well, that's the
It's
electrolytes of salt. I can tell you right
That's
now,
all
if
it
that
is.
was for me and I was going to prevent me from dying, I would die, because
Me
I
too.
can't eat a pickle. I won't touch a
I
pickle.
can have a
Well,
pickle.
that's
It's not pickle
unfortunate.
juice.
I ain't eating pickles. I ain't. No, don't.
Pickleback
don't even be on
not
my-
for you?
Don't even be on my plate. Don't even be on my plate.
Nowhere near. I don't want to smell it.
When
right?
I order food out and I know there's pickles, I tell them, hey, write allergy for the chef. Even though there's no such thing as a pickle allergy, but I tell them to write that down.
Right there,
It could be.
right.
Maybe there is.
But I will eat a cucumber.
Wow.
Interesting.
I'm weird.
It's not pickled.
No.
It's not pickled.
No.
But
It's
That
like
has
you'd have
been
an egg
pickled,
I like
right?
with
ketchup,
pickled
but I don't
eggs.
like tomatoes.
There you go. Tomato, tomato.
Facts.
All right. Well, as interested as I am in your pickle eating and that,
Yeah, never mind that.
one thing I definitely did want to hear about that you mentioned at the beginning of the show was the claim of beating, what was it, Phil Mickelson in the golf?
Yeah, tell us about this story.
Just in
I was
case.
there
Allegedly.
actually.
Let's put
I-
allegedly out there. Is there any
let's
proof of
allegedly.
this?
I was
Video
actually.
proof of this?
I was at the birthday party. You had a birthday party,
It was a
That's when-
ugly sweater party, Christmas ugly sweater party.
I love
where
that.
it
and you had
came
an
to
ugly
fruition.
sweater on that day.
And actually, I think I was wearing a T-shirt, and I
What?
think it had some reindeer on it or something.
yeah.
And we won't say what the reindeer were doing, but so a good buddy of mine, Brandon Love, who actually works for 98 KUPD on the weekends, he does a little DJing there. He's also an educator. He is a huge Phil Mickelson fan, and he went to ASU. He's an ASU Sun Devil, and as we know, Phil Mickelson is. And several years ago, Brandon decided that he was going to tweet. Can we still say tweet?
Yeah.
Yes.
At Phil every day until he responded to play a round of golf with him. So he started January 1st, I think, of 2022. I think that's when this occurred. I supported him. I would like it. I would retweet. I would make a comment, just supporting my friend. Most of his friends stopped after like 3 weeks. Like, he's never going to respond to you. It's
Right.
never going to happen.
It's over.
All of a
Did
sudden,
he tell you why he was doing that?
because he wanted to play a round of golf with Phil Mickelson.
Okay, but he didn't tell you. Okay, I'll let you finish the story.
Do you know his deeper meaning of why he was doing that?
I think so. Go ahead and tell the
Okay.
story. Yeah, go.
So anyway, about Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving break, he calls me. And, you know, most friends these days we text, right? But he calls me, so I know something's important. He goes, hey, you sitting down? I go, yeah. He goes, hey, I just got a tweet back in my DMs from Phil Mickelson, and it says, I've seen it. I'm going to make it happen. Stop tweeting me.
Hell yeah.
And I went,
Persistence.
I go,
Yeah,
I go,
right.
okay, well,
I love it.
look, I'm your friend. Do you think this account is really his? I said,
right.
this could be some 5'4" Asian dude named Phil Mickelson.
Is there a little
who
blue
we
check
don't
mark?
even know, right?
Was there a check mark at the time?
Yeah, I don't know about the blue checks, but that, ask Elon. So anyway, I kept supporting him. He says it's going to happen. It's cool, and he's been DMing him back and forth like it's going to be at this place. It's going to be. I go, that's awesome. That I'm very supportive. So at my ugly sweater party, December 12th or whatever it was before Christmas, he gets up in front of the entire group of people that's at the house, and we got DST Major League Baseball clients are at the house. We got friends that I've known for 20 years at the house. And all
I was
of a
there.
sudden- And yeah, Eric's there. His wife, great. Brandon gets up and says, hey, I have an announcement. And I'm like, bro, this is an ugly sweater party. Like, what are we doing announcements for here? What are you not? And he says, hey, I've been tweeting Phil Mickelson. Some of you guys know, some of you don't. And he and I have set up the match for December 27th or whatever at his place at Rancho Santa Fe, which is his home golf course in San Diego. And he's bringing a friend. So he said I could bring a friend. And everybody's like, oh, cool. So then everybody starts perking up like, oh, who you bring? Who you bring? He goes, and the person I chose to bring is Ray, because he has supported me every single time I tweeted, every single time I said something. He's been there encouraging me to make this happen, and it happened. So I want somebody on the course with me that encouraged me. I was
So
like,
did you have some underlying belief that it was going to happen? Was it just straight support?
It was straight support. I had, we all are, as humans, we are inherently selfish, right? Mm-hmm. In this particular case, I can openly say I didn't ever think it was going to happen for him. I was just being supportive as a friend, and I certainly didn't expect him to say, hey, I want you to come with me, because he's got lots of friends. Mm-hmm. So I leave Atlanta early, because we go to Atlanta every year to see my brother and my sister-in-law and our nieces there. And I tell my brother's brother-in-law. So my brother's brother-in-law is Jeff Francoeur. He played for the Braves for all those years, and he announced on TBS. So we always spend Christmas with them and his family and the in-laws and all that. I'm like, hey, I got to leave early this year. I can't play golf with you guys. I get to go play golf with Phil Mickelson. And Jeff Francoeur's like, you're not playing golf with Phil Mickelson. He goes, you've played golf with a lot of celebrities. I played with Chipper, and I played with Brian McCann and a bunch of those guys. And
Tiger?
No. Jeff has, but that's legit.
Copy.
And Jeff goes, how do you know this is real? I go, I don't. I go, I'm flying to San Diego, and we're going to find out. So I get into San Diego, get up the next morning. We drive over to the course. We're hanging out on the putting green. All of a sudden, this golf cart with this 80s rock music is playing. And Phil in his silver shades
Yeah, but
starts driving up, and I tap Brandon. I go, hey, there's your boy.
This is real.
And Brandon's like, oh my God, it's real. He was like a 5-year-old kid. It was so awesome. And I'm curious, did he tell you why he wanted to do that? Did he die?
No, he didn't tell me that. But
Okay.
you didn't know that he was bringing you along, right?
I had no idea. He
Yeah.
announced it that night at the
Okay.
party. So we go up to the driving range, and he brought a friend off the Latin Tour. His name's Michael Feurenstein. Good golfer and good friend of his. And so he and I are talking because I want Brandon to be able to geek out with Phil.
Right.
So we get on the first tee, and Phil says, hey, Ray, what's your handicap? I said, I'm a 9 handicap. He goes, okay, well, I'm a +7. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. You're a pro golfer. You better be a +7. He goes, I'm going to give you 16 strokes, which means I'm getting a stroke a hole except for 2 holes. And he goes, what's Brandon's handicap? Brandon's like, I'm a 12 at the time. Brandon's closer to a 9, 8, maybe 8 now. He's gotten a lot better. But I go, he's like a 15. I'm trying to get strokes out of Phil. He goes, all right, tell you what, Brandon gets a stroke a hole. You get a stroke on every hole except 2. Michael and I are going to play the back tees. We're going to let you play these tees up here, and we're going to play for $200. And Brandon's like, well, I go, I'll front us the money. You know, I'm a former teacher. He's a teacher. We don't have a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, Phil, that sounds great, because I'm sure Phil has played for
A lot more.
way
than that.
more money. With lots of
A lot
zeros.
more money than that. Right.
So, first hole, Brandon sprays one to the right off to the fairway because he's nervous. He's playing. It's his idol. He thinks Phil's the GOAT over Tiger. He thinks Phil's it.
Right.
And Phil is arguably top 5 easily. I mean, I was always a Tiger fan, and I actually told him that on the range. I'm sure he didn't appreciate that. So I pull out my hybrid because the tees we're playing from, the first par 4 was only like 330 yards for us. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to hit driver. So I hit this hybrid with this little baby 10-yard draw. I mean, couldn't have come off my club sweeter. And over my left shoulder, I hear, nice swing, Ray. That was Phil. And from that moment, I almost dropped my club and went into the clubhouse and said, I'm done. Phil Mickelson
need
just said,
anything
nice
else.
swing, Ray.
Yeah.
Over. Did it make you
So-
more nervous when he said that?
No, it fired me up.
Right.
And I could go through the whole round, but it would take us the rest of the show. But what I will tell you is we get to hole 9. We're up 3. I'm playing really well. And I'm getting a stroke now. So every par is a birdie, every bogey's a par. Phil and Michael are playing okay. Brandon, and he'll tell you this, playing like trash. He's all over the place. I mean, I think he's in the woods at one point. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? So we get to hole 9, and we're up 3. And I make this 10-footer for par, which is par for birdie, and his partner is already in for birdie, so we tied the hole. So we're getting ready to go 10, and Phil goes, hey, Ray, do you drink on the course every now and then? I said, yeah, I have a few beverages on the course every now and then. He goes, good. I'm going to make it a triple, and you can bring your ass back to our F&Ts because I'm tired of getting beat. So I went out promptly and doubled the next 2 holes.
Okay.
Double bogey. I fixed myself, threw in a bunch of pars. We're going in the last hole. It's a par 5. His course. I go, Brandon, I'm getting tired. My shoulders are killing me. You ain't done anything all day. Can you do something? Can you just one time? Because whatever.
Pressure.
Something.
Wow.
Brandon makes par.
Oh,
On the
wow.
last
Finally
hole,
comes
Good job,
his
Brandon.
first-
birdie. I made bogey for par, which would have tied the match. But because Brandon made that putt, we won. Phil sat
By
with
one
us.
stroke.
Yes. Phil sat with us. There was a fireplace outside of his little place. We had a beverage. We told some stories. We took some pics. I would pull them out, but I got to scroll through because, I'm not organized in the picture department with it, but I do have some pics. Right. I didn't take any pictures on the course while we were playing out of respect for him. At the end of the day, we're playing with a guy that does this for a living. It's Phil Mickelson. I mean, look, he's 100 years from now, people are still going to be talking about Phil Mickelson. Like, he's that good. So I didn't take any pictures on the course, but I can tell you, and I wrote up the whole story on our drive back from San Diego. I was going to send it to Golf Digest, and I can give it to you guys if you want to ever talk about it. But there was some funny stuff. And about 4 holes straight, he was telling Brandon all about, because this is when Live was going on. He was telling him all about the DOJ and all the stuff with the PGA. And, like, Brandon at one point is like, are you supposed to be telling me this stuff? Like, I mean, he's just divulging. But we ended up winning. He signed a few items I have in my home. I got a 2004 Masters. That's the first one he won.
Nice.
And behind it, I have the money. I have the money in there.
Oh, you did. You kept it.
Oh yeah, I didn't spend it. That's legit.
That's
so.
key. Yeah. Did he
Aw.
sign the money?
No, he did not.
Yes.
He did not. But no,
That's
and I'll
awesome.
tell you, people can say out there that Phil Mickelson is not a good dude or not. He was phenomenal. Him and his wife, one of their charities they donate to is to teachers. So to have Brandon as a teacher and myself at the time as a former teacher, he enjoyed having us out at the course and playing. I mean, he's a very benevolent man. He's a good dude, and he is one heck of a golfer. I mean, you play with your buddies on the weekend and you watch him play, and then you go play with a dude like that. I mean, when it comes off the club, it's like butter. It's unreal.
Like butter. I love it.
That's awesome.
What an awesome story.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, that's cool. So you did beat him.
We did. I got to say we because Brandon did win the last hole, and if Brandon didn't win the last hole, we would have tied. So we did beat him.
Way to bring it home, Brandon.
Love it.
That's right, Brandon. Appreciate it. Hey, Cook, is there anything else you want to talk about? Are we good?
I think we're good.
I
man.
think so, too.
Yeah.
We hit everything. Coach came on here and lit the show up for us, gave us all kind of great information in his book. Just his knowledge of being out there. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Thankful.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Real quick, the book again is NSCA's Guide to High School Strength and Conditioning for the Professionals, Coaches, and Teachers. So go grab that book. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching today's show. We will be back. What?
1 second, since we were talking about golf. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out.
Oh.
Why did the golfer
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
bring?
There we go.
Wait a minute. Let me perform this right.
Go ahead.
Why did the golfer bring 2 pair of pants? Go ahead. Try it out.
Why?
No idea.
Coach,
I got
anything,
nothing.
Coach?
I got nothing.
Here it is. In case he got a hole in one.
Oh, man.
Dad joke. Love it.
Oh, that joke. That was about as bad as the one I did 2 weeks ago.
Tough crowd still, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all take it easy out there. EBS, take us home.
All right, everybody on the chat line, thanks for chatting on
Yes.
the screen with us today. Sometimes we didn't get to a lot of your information. Coach Karvis, appreciate you being on the show.
Yes, sir.
We will be
Yes,
back
thank
again.
you.
We'll be back again next Sunday, live 2 p.m. here in the lab. So long.